One. Good evening, I'm Alexander Ned here live on NASCAR Heat 4. Yes, guys, we are on another new exciting season for the Pocono Raceway Cup Series here, joined by Red Lag and Will. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this as we start another new season for the Midnight Broadcasting Network. Guys, are you there?
Yes, Alex. glad to be back, bro. Glad to be back.
Well, I'm glad to have you guys on board, and it should be an exciting race. But before we go into this year, let's dive a little bit into last year. Last year, we left you guys here about a month and a half ago with an exciting race at Pocono Raceway. And recap that for you with BC Racer Kids scoring the first ever Pocono Raceway Cup Series championship, and it all came down to a final lap and a final turn. Him then pushing his teammate Fluffy to turn number 3, giving himself get underneath, and they were side by side, almost a drag race for a second. But it was BC Racer Kid, your champion of that race.
Alex, they're saying that the music's on.
Oh, my music on? Of course, guys. I'm sorry. This is all a new. This is very much a new game. So let's see if I can get that music down. Here we go. There it is. It's off.
That's Slade's favorite song too.
That's a great song. Well, with that transition, guys, we are on a brand new game for PRCS. It's NASCAR Heat 4. It came out a little over 2 weeks ago. We've had some time to try this new game from 704 Games. And in one word, it's fantastic. I like it a lot. No ping pong effect. Tire wear is definitely going to be a factor for these long races. And guys, you can beat and bang and not end your race in one lap.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of that tonight as we're trying to run 22 cars. And, you know, that's a little bit bigger field than last year, running 16 at a time. So it's going to get interesting for sure.
And if it's anything like last night, we're going to see a lot of 3, 4, and even 5 wide racing in some points of the track.
Well, yeah, we got a lot of the same drivers in this race as we had last night, so it's not going to be short on excitement, that's for sure.
Something new for NASCAR Heat 4, and I mentioned earlier, was the tire wear factor. You guys mentioned that you had a race last night in the Xfinity Series. We're going to have a little bit of longer stages in the Cup Series, but that tire wear is still going to be just as important as we saw in the Xfinity Series. Break that down for us.
Well, you actually don't have to have a full run to actually run your tires, slap off the car. Every chance you get, you're going to see everybody get the 4 Mr. Feelgoods, but you can actually kill your tires pretty quick here. Not exactly here at the Super Speedway, they last a little longer, but you're going to see probably about a 16 to 18 lap window here.
Yeah, on fuel and tires, about 16 to 18 laps, and you'll be wanting something a little bit better. But like Will said, the tires don't fall off all that much. You know, 2 tire stop could actually work here.
We are getting some communication from Race Control. That is Slade. And Slade, we are ready whenever you guys are ready to rock and roll to get this 100-lap event. Again, the PRCS Daytona 500, race number 1 of 22 of the season. Now, go ahead there, Will.
Oh, I was just going to tell you, Alex, we actually have some new faces around MBN, not around the Pro League section or the actual heat, but a couple new guys joining us here at MBN to run our Cup Series this year that you might want to look out for. We've got the Bear, Jobs, also Sloppy Joe from you know him from YouTube as well. Who else do we got, Red Leg?
Boy.
he's super prepared tonight.
Yeah.
But we're ready whenever y'all are.
Yeah, well, we will be giving you guys a full roster, and keep in mind this is also our first broadcast. I don't know about you guys, but this is my first broadcast on NASCAR Heat 4, so I'm still going to be getting a little bit used to the camera angles, everybody's names. I'll try to, pronounce your name. I might refer to you with your car number until I know for sure who is in that car. And for our viewers at home, if you just bear with me, this is all very, again, brand new. It's a brand new game, it's a brand new season. And so we are very excited to have you join us here this Tuesday night. And again, you can catch all of our PRCS action right here on the Midnight Broadcasting Network. I myself will usually be heading that here, joined by Will and Red. And we do have the first invites out. So that means the green flag, boys, is not that far away. I am coming in right now. 22 drivers. More than half of a real field for the Daytona 500. Now, if I'm correct, and again, if I misspeak, please correct me there, Red and Will, but we did have, that was untelevised, we had the Gatorade duels, and so that does determine the inside and outside roll. The first duel will determine the inside roll. The second duel will determine the outside roll. That will be who is starting up front versus all the way back. So we'll be able to see how those guys did in those duels. Might that translate to how they do in the real race?
Well, actually, they had the shootout last week, one of the preliminary little races that they did, and actually Keffer snuck away with that one, so he'll be starting on the pole tonight.
There's going to be a little bit of organized chaos as you see the field get up to speed, caution speed, manual cautions. I wasn't able to look at the full setup. I do believe the computer game controlled cautions are on. Will manual cautions also be following, or will it just be the game?
Oh, it'll just be the game. They actually sent a program last night that fixed all the cautions on pit road issue.
So you see up front the 88 and the 3 are going to lead this field down. We got a couple of great camera angles riding on board with the Bass Pro Shops camera right there. You also have one on NASCAR Heat 4. That's driven by Matt Benedetto. We're also on the M&M onboards cam from high above the Goodyear blimp. Lots of camera angles to show you guys. Again, a 22-car field, 100 laps at the Great American Race. 22 drivers went to bed last night thinking one thing: they could win the Daytona 500. We'll see whose dream comes true in just a few moments.
They're coming to the box now.
Yeah, you're going to notice, Alex, we have a couple drivers involved in the silly season. Our actual returning champion here at midnight, he's actually in a 4-car this year. So keep an eye out for BC Racing Team.
The green flag is out. JRM Kepper leads them down. The American Ethanol green flag in the air. They're off and racing into turn number 1.
Oh, Bear looking on the outside.
New for this game, you really can lean on one another. And that's going to create some intense, frantic racing here as guys try to get up to the front, because right now, it used to be, could that outside line form and get the momentum? Now we know it can.
Yeah, it's great side-by-side racing right here coming out of 4 here. We're still too wide coming to the line.
Oh, already got a car below the yellow line. Look at that, the 31. Almost lost it right there. Something that's also transferred from NASCAR Heat 3. You can still hook bumpers. And something about this game that has been continuing is that the accordion effect. You don't want to lose that momentum because the guys behind you can check up, and that could create a big wreck.
Yeah, and as we've seen last night, we had a couple of guys up front dragging the brake, bunching the field, and I don't know if you got to watch that or not, Alex, but we had a lot of 3, 4, 5 wide at some time.
Riding aboard, the clearest view right now is JRM Keffer, but behind him it's a Hornet's Nest. Take a look at the 17 car just on the outside. Now dives back down low, trying to peek underneath 3-car. 3-car who started on the outside lane. Look at this freight train right now. He's all the way outside of the top 10.
Yeah, he's going to fall way back. We saw that a lot last night. One guy tried to go out and make a move on the pack, and if no one goes with you, no one sticks with you, you're just going to go backwards.
Yeah, you see Bag stuck on that outside right now, hoping somebody will jump out there with him. Maybe they'll get the second line going, guys. And once they do, you'll see the action start falling off here in a second.
Well,
oh, we got another one going high.
Talking about the new changes here for the 2019 season for PRCS, and it is that tire wear factor that we mentioned in our Countdown to Green preview. So these guys, their tires are wearing a lot more than what we saw here last year.
Alex, actually, all the cup races will be 3 times wear as well. So it's going to be a lot more pitting involved, which actually brings more of a, pit road calls into it. You got to have a lot more speed on pit road and a lot more. A
lot more pit strategy involved.
Yeah.
Taking a look at the back of the pack and riding on board with our defending series champion, that is BC Racer Kid, now riding along in the 4 car. That black number 4 looking really good, but really good in the back of the pack right now. You guys, we're starting to see some single file action. Is that because tire wear is playing a factor, or are these guys just trying to hold their spot in line?
I think it's just going to be a long night. They're content to ride around right now. They're probably going to ride and just hang out for the first stage. Hopefully they get a little race. You see Bear poking his nose out on the outside out there. Maybe they'll get something started.
Well, it looks like they're just riding along in line, but you guys know, you guys have been in this pack. You were part of the Xfinity Series race last night. It's not just riding around in circles. You're doing a lot inside that race car with guys behind you and in front of you going 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, right now I have a big feeling that Kevin's got his mirror off. He's just leading the pack. I think a lot of them right now are just trying to see how their car is going to work in the draft, see where they may need to make an adjustment coming that first pit stop.
Do have one car.
For a fact right now, they're probably tearing that leaderboard up right now.
They probably are.
One car in the back, and that is the 6. That's Marcus. Don't know what set him, but he has lost the draft, and that will stay consistent no matter what system we go to. If you're not in tow with that lead pack, you're going in the back.
It's all over but the crying.
Good thing for him is that we do have 3 stages, 3 opportunities to try and make up ground and get up front. Take a look at right there. You saw BC Racer Kid riding along with the 4 car. He hit that apron and knew for NASCAR Heat 4, when you got on the apron last year, you would perhaps spin out. Now you hit the apron actually hits back. You actually bounce back into traffic right there, and that's exactly what we saw with the 4 car. Look what it did to the rest of the field behind him. Kind of jumbled up the line with the 95 and the 20. Now we see a gap between that first group and now that second group.
Yeah, that second group's going to have to organize up and try to just stay organized and not race, and they'll be able to catch that front pack.
Yeah, that was something that we was allowed to see last night, is the guys that lost the draft early, once they found each other on the racetrack and actually worked together, they could actually rejoin the main pack. So, on Heat 3, you lost the pack, it was pretty much over with. You had to use some type of strategy to get back up there. Not with this game. You can actually make good runs back at the lead pack.
Right along with second place at Sloppy Joe. He has a YouTube channel here, new to the Midnight Broadcasting Network and for PRCS. Riding along in that second position, the Tame the Beast Machine, driven by Tyler Reddick. And so far, these 2 heavy bow ties are content leading up front.
Yeah, last night, Alex, it was pretty much the Toyota show. At one time, they had the whole top 5 sewed up. Toyota actually won each stage with Bags piloting it, and then A-Trout actually brought it home for the final, the total victory. But yeah, Bags was really strong last night, and he's in 19 tonight. So we're looking forward to him making a couple strong moves and get up there and start mixing it up.
The bottom lane right now seems to be the place to be. Haven't seen a lot of 2 and 3 wide action. Saw the 88 car. Ooh, get up high. You don't want to get up high like we see the 2 car Jay Hyper. I don't know if he meant to make that move to the high side, but right now he's the only guy on the outside. And take a look at where he's going. That's to the back.
Keffer almost stepped out a little half the lane, almost like he was trying to get Hyper to come up there and start that second lane. Maybe he learned that off of the TV or something. I don't know what it's trying to do.
Oh, he's got a teammate in here, just behind him in that 12 car, and he's going to follow suit. This is a 13, I believe, a 14 car pack. I would have to count, and I'm not actually able to do that, but a couple of guys have lost the draft. You see the 22 and the 9, the 51. That is Diesel leading that group.
What I was saying was Keffer, he looks really strong, really content up front. It looks like he's got a pretty good hot rod. He's not bouncing around a lot like you see a lot of the other guys. He's holding to that yellow line, and he's looking pretty sharp.
There's a move to the outside. A couple of Toyota teammates right there, the 18 and the 19 working together.
Who do you guys got to pick for tonight? We haven't did our pre-race picks. Who you going with tonight, Alex? With plate racing, I always believe one of my favorite quotes is that if you can start your engine here, you have a chance to win. So I believe everybody has an equal shot, an equal opportunity to get this win. I don't know. I wasn't able to look at practice. Don't know if these are custom race setups. Are these custom race setups or are these default, yes,
by the way?
Always custom.
Custom race setups. So that's extraordinary, actually, considering this game just came out a couple of weeks ago, and already we've got guys tinkering with their setups, trying to get the most speed out of these cars.
I don't know if I had to go with a Pro League ringer, I would probably say Keffer's got a pretty good hot rod for this one. If I had to pick an underdog, I think I'd have to go with Jay Hyper in the 2. We ran some practices with him. I think he's got a pretty good machine under him. So he'd have to be my long shot one on this one.
He actually won the Xfinity Daytona 500 last year with the Daytona 250, but he won the Xfinity race here at Daytona. He always does really good at the super speedways. So Hyper's kind of a safe pick. Out of the new guys, out of the non-pro league guys per se, y'all might see a familiar name back there, Pat's Ace, piloting the number 20 Joe Gibbs car tonight. I'm going to pick him just because, all he does is win, so maybe he'll get back to his winning ways right here today.
Wow, you're riding along board with Justin Mons in that 9 machine. This guy, the 1 and the 95, you remember after the issues out of the 4 car, they found themselves all the way that second pack, almost a second and a half. They were able to run down that first group, and like you said there earlier, that second pack was able to stay in touch with that first pack, and now it's all one big happy pack. 15 cars.
Hopefully that pack will turn into a gaggle.
Yeah, they're trying to make that outside work, but no one else is going with it. Now Jay Mons is falling in line, and so is the 1.
Riding on board with the 43 machine.
We got 1 coming down pit road early, too.
Ooh, already down pit road. Let's see if we can cycle through and see who that was. It is the 2 car, and he's without any teammates. Nobody will swing in. Actually, no, we got a couple of cars on pit road there. Looks like the 11. And also another machine is out. And could strategy play into this one? Oh, wow, the 13 merged early right there. That was almost an incident between New World in this 51 and the 13 car. Do you see pit road is about to be a busy place? You see a lot of people actually peeling off right now. The 20 car doesn't go with them. Look like the 88 and the 24 teammates slide in. And hopefully no one got caught speeding right here. We believe these to be all 4-tire pit stops.
Yeah, they might try some two-tire stops. It's not really much of a fall off. Right now, they might just be sticking to their guns. Everybody do a 4-tire stop. Get them a can and a half, 2 cans of fuel just to make it to the end of stage 1 here.
88 car, our pole setter, was on pit road. The leader looks like he was nabbed for speeding. So JRM Keffer having to serve a penalty. You see the 4-car BC Racer get a punt from the 12. The 12 car also almost missed the pit road right there. Were there more speeding penalties handed on the entrance of pit road? 88 car.
They are coming in hot. Hyper might have did a good thing by coming in pit road early because he's already up to speed. I don't know, man. A lot of guys probably caught a speeding penalty coming in. They're coming in hot, definitely.
Definitely, no. The 88 was hot. I believe the 9 and the 24 car, that was Justin Mons, they were part of that first group that pitted. They are now in turn 3 and 4, and they are coming up hot on one car who I'm not sure has pitted yet. Let's see where the rest of the group has fallen in line. This has dramatically shuffled the running order of the field. And we will try to get you updates on where everybody is running as it becomes apparent. We got a couple of guys that are still on pit road, and I do believe face penalties right there. So we do know by association with that first pack, all of Hendrick Motorsports went in, and they were part of the lead pack. So we do know the 9 and the 24 car, they were off and away with 15 seconds. I counted. That's how I knew the 88 car had a speeding penalty. So we do know that those guys are the leader. Now, what did they get? I believe it would be 4 tires. Could have been 2 tires and maybe perhaps fuel, just enough to make it to the end of stage 1. See a couple of cars still trying to re-enter the racetrack by themselves. You see the 18 and the 19. Let's see if we can cycle through back to where the 88 is. Oh yeah, the 88 lost a ton of time. And track position is key, guys. Starting up front, you really had a benefit because you were in control of this race. Now he finds himself deep in traffic, and we have not seen a pass under green flag conditions on the racetrack. We did see a change of heart, or a change of the lead on pit road. But until that point, Keffer had led every lap.
Yeah, just a moment ago, J. Mons and Nick Jobs got together and shot J. Mons up to the wall.
Wow. So we're trying to see. And what's new for this, that's a little bit annoying, is that I cannot look back. I guess I could use that. That's new here, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get a little bit used to that to see exactly where everyone is. Are you watching there, Will or Red, or any of you guys watching JR's?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly who's in the lead right now. I'm thinking it might be, I don't know.
Well, I know here's the 24 and the 3. Let's see, Workman, they're working together, and they're just at the start-finish line now. But you said there was contact that sent the 24 and the 3 and 24 up into the wall. So I'm guessing he is right behind that lead pack. Oh, the 9 went to the wall. Okay.
I'm thinking your leaders right now, guys, will be Slade, followed by Big D, and who else is behind?
I do see, yeah, it looks like to be the 5-car pack, and BC Racer Kid gets a nudge from the 43. In the 43 here, if you remember here, I do remember this race last year, he was involved in an untimely caution that really dramatically shuffled the running order with 10 to go. But I do believe we are in tow with our lead pack. I believe you are right there, because by my calculations, those guys that are up front, the 11 who we saw on pit road earlier.
Yeah, he pitted around the same time.
Hyper started the first green flag pit stop. So
where's Hyper? Let's see where we can find him. Sorry, guys, we're going to travel through the field as we continue to try and figure out where the 2 car is. We know he pitted early. There he is. He's in tow with this second pack. So he was by himself.
18 of the New World Order. Yeah, they call it the second pack here. The 48 is actually Saab Max. He's actually new to the Hendricks squad this year as well. I can't exactly remember what car he drove last year, but I know he was part of MBN.
Currently, the 40 car is by himself, and we're just not sure exactly And I wish, this has been a great game, but I wish we had a running order to tell you exactly who that was. Can you guys also tell me when JRM Keffer goes across how many laps to go we have in the stage?
Are you watching his live stream?
I'm not. I do not have that right now.
I'm getting ready to pull it up.
See.
Okay. He'll give us a lap count.
At 40 car. I don't know if he's going to go a lap down by pitting early or if he is going a lap down to the leaders. But nonetheless, I do believe the 21 car Slade did just take the lead, or he is your leader right now. It's a couple of Penske affiliated teammates running 1-2. See if we can get back in touch with that lead pack. So these are the guys that were able to get on pit road and get off pit road without any issue. A lot of the field spread out, and a lot of penalties were handed out getting onto pit road.
You know what Keffer's YouTube is?
Yeah, it's Keffer. It's Jason Keffer. Try to look it up and boot me out of the race, but I'll try again.
Here we go. I got it. I just got it. So
we will get ourselves together, guys.
Yeah, they're shaking off the cobwebs on the track. We're shaking off the cobwebs in the booth.
All right, so right now Keffer's running 11th with J-Mon's 9th and Fluffy 9th, J-Mon's 10th. Both
4 laps to go, so this 13. Lead pack is coming to 3 to go this time by. Now, strategy-wise, if you're in this lead pack, and we do know that stage points will mean a thing, do you try and pit early, perhaps, and get that track position? As we see, the 6 car forced the issue underneath the 11.
Yeah,
4 to go.
Yeah. I'm excited to see this second lane starting to move, and these guys are starting to mix it up a little bit. Keffer keeps finding himself out front of a pack, though. That might be a going trend for this evening. He must have one of the stronger cars tonight.
Again, a 22-car field, and it all comes down to a 7-car pack currently.
Woo! The bear gets loose. The bear got a little shaky there and put Keffer in the wall. They all get him straight. Heat 3, that would have been a caution. But as we see now, it's not.
2 to go. Pit road is closed. And the battle for the stage win in the first green and white checkered flag for PRCS is underway with less than 5 miles to go. To the outside, 12, the Big D Destroyer push to the outside there. Now the 31 car assumes that spot. Here comes a couple of more blue ovals, the form of the 6 and the 4 car. They are separated by that bow tie, the 43 RPM. Ooh, 6 car into the outside wall, back into the 12. They continue to make contact, and they will leave that lead pack because of it. Big D Destroyer. Let's see if we can get back up front. It's the white flag for stage 1 is underway. Celtics fan trailing along. And the 21 of Slade leads them down into turn 1 for the final time in stage 1. Do these bow ties work with one another? Do they try and get around this 21? What's going to happen here?
I think that 4 car is going to stick his nose out there and see if he can't make a run for it. As long as the 11 car goes with him, they might be able to make it.
Out of turn 4 for Wood Brothers Racing. 43 look peeking outside. The 21 car is going to win the stage. Slade brings them down to the caution flag, our first of the day after a clean and green stage 1. Guys, what did we learn from that stage?
Well, if I was Mike RPM, I would have learned that nobody went with me over there, so I'd remember that. I put that in my back pocket for this second stage here. But other than that, they're still getting their wheels up under them. They got a little more racy. They're probably going to be a lot more cautious coming down the pit road. as we've seen the leader lose a ton of time out there on that speeding penalty. But looks like it's about to get exciting, guys.
Yeah, but as we get ready to start stage 2, you know, we're going to ready to see what adjustments they make and see if they can try to make a little bit more speed. But they also got to remember you can't go by yourself on a pack. If you don't have someone going with you, you're not going to go nowhere. And also make sure you're not, you know, squirrely coming into pit road.
And Alex, there is a such thing as a side draft off these cars also this year, off this Heat 4. They did a fantastic job with this game. It allows you to race a lot more, and as you can see, there's a lot more beating and banging, and they're still falling out of the pack, but they're not caution. Everybody lives to race another lap. So.
All right, green flag is back out.
Green.
Stage 2, 1 at 27 laps. Already got a car, off the racing surface, and they are 3 wide, like you mentioned. Man, big contact between 3 wide. The 12 car tried to thread the needle. Here comes the 88 car. Man, that's a hornet's nest down the backstretch. That really shuffled the running order, and any chance of that outside line forming is now gone. Single file formation almost immediately after a very messy turn or stage. As you see the voltage go down pit road. He did not get on pit road during that last caution, so that is a mistake, and it could be a costly one early in this race.
Yeah, this definitely could, because he's looking strong out front.
Man, these guys starting to turn up the intensity just ever so much. I was noticing while we were underneath our first and our only caution there for the stage break, that voltage did not pit. And I was wondering if that was strategy. Maybe he went down pit road beforehand, but he was solidly in 9th place. That is just a driver miscue. And unfortunately, you know, in real NASCAR, we have your spotter, you have your crew chief, you have your crew. Esports racing, it's just yourself. You're the one making the calls. It can be very easy to try and make adjustments and perhaps not hit that final button. Oh, crash! Hard hit into the outside wall. Who was that? Don't know exactly what that was. I believe that was a 12 car Big D Destroyer. Excuse me right there.
J-Ron, but he's still safe. He's still in the pack. So, yeah, it's definitely Big D.
What sent that car wide to the outside wall? And as you said, we stay under green. You know, with these cars being able to take more abuse, does that mean the yellow flag won't be seen as much?
Yeah, there is. It's definitely not. You're not going to see as many cautions. There's no such thing as a caution fest this year. Maybe when we get to Martinsville or, you know, Bristol, we might see more of that. But not too much on the super speedways. I don't think we're going to see any of that.
See the 6 car.
Hard in the outside wall. J-Mon made a. Whew, that was a heck of a save because that car was completely sideways on my screen.
Taking a look from behind the race leader at this 2 wide formation. See the 95 car. He's been able to work his way back up. You see the 43 car. Ooh, get loose. Look how close he came to that outside lane. That outside line is already so hard to get around, guys. And why is that there, Will? Why can't we see this outside line truly prevail and challenge up front for the lead?
Well, actually, last night on our Xfinity race, the outside line, you know, we started getting a little aggressive on the outside, and we actually did make it work. It's just it's hard to commit because once you're up there, it's not just you making a mistake anymore. It can be a guy from the bottom touch the apron, and now, as you said before, they fix the apron, but it actually shoots you up the track. So you got yourself, and then you got to worry about somebody else's skill level hitting that apron and just, you know, causing a catastrophe. Everybody's scared to death to lose the draft, and you see why. I mean, you lose the draft, I mean, it's gone.
Yeah, JR. Oh, go ahead there, Red.
We saw a lot of that yesterday where we were getting door banged if you were on the high side and then people trying to push it 3 wide. It's also the longer way around, and I think unless you got 3-4 more cars than what's on the inside line, you're not going to move any ground up on that.
There goes the
New
18
World
car.
Order shoots out to the outside. That was a
Trying to
heck of
bring
a
those
move.
Toyotas up front and lead a lap for the first time today. It's been Chevy, then Ford. Toyota has yet to put a point, get to the point, as that outside line just once again just loses that momentum. We've not been able to see any good challenge up front before people start to bail out.
If they would actually commit to it, these guys would actually see that outside line. You can hold a little more momentum and you can get a bigger run up there as long as you got, you know, a couple cars backing you up. You can make that outside work, but you have to have a couple cars that really get committed and run with you. You will lose a couple spots at first, but once you get it going, it's hard to stop.
See Fluffy work his way up to the top 5. Haven't talked much about him and those Toyotas that were at one point running second and third all the way to just fighting outside the top 10. There's DWH in that one car, also cracking the top 5.
Yeah, DWH is returning from last year. He had a pretty silent season. He ran really good. He ran really strong at Martinsville. There's a couple other tracks he did really good at. I'm really looking for him to flex his muscles early in the season this year. He's another good one, another top 50. All these guys that's in this race tonight, besides a couple, are all top 50 drivers here. 80% of them are actually pro league drivers. You'll be familiar with the names that we're saying. As you know, tomorrow night they actually have another race that they'll be at Kansas tomorrow night. So
these guys are putting on an expert show, and it is not easy here, especially with basically a new package being handed to them within 2 weeks, and already they're trying to get the most out of their cars. A custom setup race here, 100 laps at Daytona. Going to get you caught up with some of the big storylines so far in this race. Currently 21 car Slade continuing to lead this freight train at over 200 miles an hour. He was your stage 1 winner. A miscue by fan favorite Voltage in that 19 machine sent him all the way to the back of the pack after he failed to pit during that stage break at the end of stage 1. Also wondering where our pole sitter is. That would be in the 14th position. That was JRM Keffer. He had a speeding penalty early in stage 1 during the only green flag pit stop of the race, and then a little bit of contact with other cars has sent him outside of this lead pack.
it almost looked like he got a little help with that speeding penalty as well. It looked like the 24 car was coming in a little hot on the outside there. But as we know, as long as mistakes happen early, you can actually erase a mistake and still turn it into a good evening. He's got a strong car, that's for sure.
Challenge for the lead. Here comes the 1 car up to the side of the 43 car. What does Mike do in this 43 Richard Petty machine? As we finally see that outside line begin to try and form, but contact could prevent it once again from getting to the side of the 21.
Yeah,
they've got the numbers. Do they have the speed?
Well, Keffer and the group that he's running with right now are wanting to see this side-by-side race, and they're starting to close a little bit. About a tenth, about a half a track. Every half a track, they're closing a tenth right now. So they're wanting to see this.
Oh, we're 3 miles right now, guys. Fixing it up.
C. Workman did not go with that 43 machine, and you see now RPM all the way falling back. 21 continuing to hold his line and stay on that inside, but after a move to the outside by the 43 to pick up the draft with the 1 car there, the 3 car threaded the needle, and that was the 3 wide action that once again extinguished that outside lane.
I'm surprised to see a couple of these guys that I know are on a steering wheel get real squirrely and get out of shape a couple times already. That's kind of surprising. Usually you'll see, you can tell the difference between a wheel and a controller on this, but yeah, there's a couple guys on wheels that's getting a little bit sideways here.
Well, and does that have to do with the new tire wear being a factor now?
I would have to say it's more on the driver deal. Here the tires fall off, but once we get next week, you'll see the tire issue become a really, really, really big deal. Right now at the Super Speedway, the tires stay up under you for probably about 10 laps, really good, but the full run, you really don't get squirrely on them.
it's pretty stable in the corners now, and in the draft, you don't lose it too bad. But like Will said, next week at Atlanta, where the tires are going to fall off really quick, that's where you're going to see the tire really take a play on how these cars react and how these drivers react to their setup.
Yeah, new for this game versus last year at around 20%, your car started to fall off a little bit. We really didn't see blown tires. Now, once that percentage mark hits 0, your tire is gone and you're going around.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see how the best drivers on NASCAR Heat 4 for PS4 will handle this new addition given by 704 that was asked by the fans. You're at home. Everyone asked. We want tire wear to be more of a factor. We want more lanes for us to race with. Well, they answered, and it's going to be in a big way to see how these guys respond to that challenge here all season long.
And I'm going to tell you later on in the season, it's going to be exciting to watch these cars go around Bristol. The way the new game is set up, you can run 2 lanes. You don't have that push like you had in 3. You don't get that loose off and coming off the corners. It's a real stable track now, and it's going to be awesome to see these guys run Bristol later on this year.
Yeah, Alex, you believe that they're running almost a 15-second flat lap at Bristol Speedway in the Cup cars?
Yeah, that is fast. That is blistering.
Unreal, man.
Taking a look at the second pack here, led by your pole setter, J.R.M. Keffer, who's just trying to claw his way back up to the front, but hasn't had things go his way. 51 car in the 13, as well as the 11, a Celtics fan in the 48, all trailing along in that second pack. About 3.5 seconds, and we see a couple of cars. Oh, we got a couple of cars. Whoa, 21 is Slade around. That was Slade, who did not make it onto pit road. He got bumped off of pit road. That was your leader before green flag pit stops came in. How did that shuffle the rest of the field? He must have gotten bumped.
Yeah, he definitely got bumped. That is a problem that I've already seen on the first green flag pit stop and on this one as well. There needs to be more communication, and a lot of guys don't. They practice coming in on pit road, and you come in on one speed when you're by yourself or you're with 1 or 2 buddies. But it's a different animal once you're coming out of this pack, this 2, 3 deep, at a time. You come down there with so much incredible speed that if your brake bias isn't set up exactly right and you don't actually drive it in there with caution, you can actually just mess the whole pit stop up.
So we know the 22 car got out without penalty. He is in front of the 31 and the 4 and the 22. We do have a second pack on pit road. Let's see if we can get to that action. Keep in mind the 22 car should cycle through as the leader. Here's that second pack now exiting, led by C. Workman in this 3 machine. He is in front of the 24, the 40, the 43, the 9, and the 1. You see that second pack led by the 22, who was first off when that first group went on the pit road. Will they be able to catch back up and pass the 3 car, C. Workman, who they were not a part of whatever sent the 21 car wide?
Well, your leader in the 95 car just ducked down. Him in the 18 of New World Order, the Bear in the 95 of New World Order, just hit pit road about half a lap ago. So let's see who cycles out to be the leader.
You see the 22 car. Looks like a little bit better entry by the 3 and the 24. They might have been further ahead as well, but you see the 43 car try to block a run by the 17 of Fluffy, and they are 3 wide heading through the tri-oval. Outside line coming to play right here. These guys should be able to be in tow. As you see the leaders, the 18 and the 95, make their way off of pit road after their service has been complete.
So Fluffy's at the point for the first time tonight. Let's see if he's... Oh, they left BC Racer. They left him hanging up there.
See the 40 car duck below the yellow line. And we do have a new leader. That is Fluffy to the point.
Fluffy.
So a lot of crazy things happening. We can also give you guys the fuel window. It is 13 laps. So 13 laps, these guys will have to come on pit road, and we do expect that to be for 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. So with that in mind, these guys will have to make at least 3 pit stops at the end of stage 3, or excuse me, at least 2 pit stops, perhaps more if strategy plays out. Big storyline out of that cycle of green flag pit stops, though. Somebody sent the 21 car wide, and he is now in touch with that second pack of cars. Actually, let's see where he was. As we play musical chairs. I can't even find him on the screen. There he is. He's by himself here, guys. I'm not so sure that not only did he get bumped out of pit road, he got a speeding penalty handed to him as well. Did the game fail to get him onto pit road? That's what we saw sideways. And then, once the computer takes over, he got on pit road, was assessed the penalty because he should, theoretically, be with somebody perhaps in tow, but he's all by himself. Man, bad luck continuing for those that have been leading this race.
Yeah, being out on the point is not a safe place after all, is it? It's not a good trend we're setting here. But yeah, it definitely was a whole gaggle of cars trying to get to pit road, and somebody ran over somebody else or chalked the tires, and yeah, pit road is going to be the storyline tonight, guys. I hate to say it.
Getting on and off. We saw a lot of 2-tire stops on that last pit stop, last round of pit stops. So now let's see who's got the better left sides, and then.
I actually noticed that when you do take 2 tires, the fall off is really not noticeable. You'll fall off 3 100s from the beginning of the run to the end of the run from what you would if you got 4 green Mr. Feelgood. So 2 tires is not a bad idea tonight.
So getting onto pit road, that's where we've seen the trouble. That's what has been the trouble. Somebody just went down pit road, the 40 car, and that will definitely be a penalty. A speeding penalty because he didn't even try to stop.
That was hot if I ever seen it. Yeah,
yeah, he was flying.
I don't need end.
His brake pedal broke.
I guess so. Well, that NASCAR official will definitely be holding him for 15 extra seconds. But back to the point where we see the 17 car control this race. How do you guys let other people know that, hey, we all know that we need to come down pit road? What's the good strategy? What's the winning strategy here? Do you go by yourself a lap early? Perhaps and use up fuel? Do you wait later, like we saw with the 18 and the 95 not being that big pack, but then you have the risk of not having that good draft that we see with 4 and 5 cars pitting together?
Yeah, well, we've already seen that with Jay Hyper pitting by himself. It didn't really help him that much, and he lost.
Didn't really hurt him either.
Yeah, it didn't really hurt him, but it didn't help him all that much by pitting by himself. But if he would have had somebody go with him, he could have had a drafting partner and maybe made up a little bit more track position. As you see him running in front of the pack all by himself.
I think what I would do is I would come off of turn 4 and I would try to hug that bottom, and I'd try to get against that inside wall just in case somebody did hit me. I'll have a better chance of keeping it kind of straight going into pit road. But I don't know, man. You got it's trust on somebody else's talent when you pull off in that gaggle of cars like that.
And
I would rather pit with the pack, but it's not that safe.
For those at home, you know, this isn't an issue that's just unique to online. We've seen drivers in real life have issues getting onto pit road. So this has always been a problem with Daytona and Talladega. How to get onto pit road safely with other competitors behind you.
Well, you're going through the turn and in the draft at 204, 208 miles an hour, and you've got I'd say about 400 yards until you actually get the entrance of pit road, and you got to whoa them down to 55 miles an hour. So, you know, it's kind of rough when you're doing it by yourself.
You're keeping an eye up front with the 17 car, but we're actually keeping an eye on the second pack right now. 2 teammates battling for the 9th position. That is Justin Muntz, and then out on the inside, the 88 car, JRM Keffer, and they are with equal lanes. The outside lane actually has more cars, and they are keeping pace, trying to get that outside lane to get going and around the 9. This is a battle
Alex,
for 8.
You should have seen it last night. If Keffer gets the opportunity, he does not mind sticking it in a hole. He was putting it 3, 4, 5 wide, and not reckless either. I mean, it was a hole opened up, but if it's a hole, he'll stick it there. He's definitely not scared of it. Look to see some big moves out of the 88 car if it comes down to it.
Well, he's trying. You see the 19 of Voltage. And Voltage, keep in mind, he is a lap down. He is not on the lead pack, and that's also interesting because depending on whoever else has been a lap down in that 40 car, he might not get the lucky dog, the free pass to get back on the lead lap. And we know there are a couple of cars that are on pit road, that were on pit road, that had penalties. So I don't know the exact count of who is a lap down versus not, but with the lack of cautions, this free pass is important because it could be the last yellow flag we see of the night. They are coming to 1 to go. In fact, they just took 1 to go. That's lead pack. And we see them mixing it up for stage 2. There's C. Workman underneath Fluffy going to block that outside line. The 22 car, Diesel pushes him. They are side by side. What line does Fluffy try to take with him to the front for stage 2? Here comes BC Racer Kid. A couple of Fords on the outside lane, led by the 17 of Fluffy. C. Workman on the inside, no drafting help. Fords all the way occupying the first 3 positions on the racetrack. Diesel giving a shove to that 17 machine, and they are side by side for 3rd place. Fluffy is going to get it done. I don't think they can. Here comes the look outside. The 22 car is there. C. Workman tries to get there. Stage 2 is complete, and Fluffy will win it. Battle still changing up for this back of the pack. And you saw the 1 car get around the 2. And that was the battle for the 8th position. Couple of cars that continue to be 1 lap down. I do believe. Let's see. I don't know if JRM can scroll down, but I think the 18 car, we know he's on the lead lap. If he could scroll down the running order.
The first car the lead lap. He gets his lap back. I think he gets to be the lucky dog. The 20 car PRCS.
Well, that's big because we know the 2 car J Hyper's a lap down, the 20 of Voltage is a lap down, and the 20 of PRCS is a lap down, and the 19 of Voltage is a lap down, as well as the 40. So if the 20 did get that lead pack, that means the 19, the 40, and the 6, all those drivers need the help of a yellow flag to get caught back up. 20 cars on the lead pack. The 3rd and final stage for the Daytona 500 for PRCS is underway. Who etches their name into the history books? We find out in 38 laps.
Oh, little touch between these.
Wow, New World Order, and a couple of cars hard to the outside wall spinning. First crash, it's going to be the 20 car. Yellow flag is out.
Yellow flag, all right. That was going to be horrible because Pat's just got his lap back. But this is also a blessing for his teammate in the 19. He actually gets back on the lead lap with that caution as well. So, blessing in disguise, guys.
It is, and that is our first yellow flag for an actual incident on the racetrack. I wasn't able to actually catch and see exactly what happened, but I saw the 18 car. There were a whole lot of Joe Gibbs racing machines that got into one another. The 18 got sideways. The 20 car went around. The 19 had some damage there, but was able to keep going and get rewarded with a free pass, man. Complete opposite of what happened at Richmond, where they finished 1, 2, 3. Yep. With the exception of, I guess, Eric Jones in that 20 machine. Rest in peace, his chances to get into the stage. The round of 12.
He can still win, though. If he wins, he's advanced to the next round, so don't count him out. The road one's actually,
that's true. We did see, just like last year, anything could happen. We're going to restart here with 35 laps remaining. A couple of guys did use that first caution to use some strategy. Wow, they're already mixing it up, and we got a big crash. Fluffy's involved, stage 2 winner. And again, they don't make it through turns 1 and 2. This is not going to trigger the yellow flag. Diesel out of shape on the back stretch. Big crash, the 9 of Justin Mons gets into it. And this is going to be a big one. Here we go, the 31 car, the 18, the 6. Half the field in turn 3 and 4. Yellow is out. And I'm not so sure that wasn't made to bring out the yellow, because the yellow should have come out for whatever, since the 17 a fluffy wide. That is a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, that 17 went end over end. I seen him on my screen look like he's barrel rolling. Remnants of the catch fence crash by the Austin Dillon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. Guys, another quick caution puts us with 31 laps remaining in this race. And we do know that we can make it about 15. So these guys, they're just outside of their fuel window. They will have to make pit one more time in order to get caught back up. Let me tell you what this caution does. It allows everyone to get caught back up on the lead lap. I believe we have everyone on the lead lap now.
Yeah, I think that put everybody on the lead lap.
C. Workman and JRM Keffer back to the point for the first time today. After a rash of yellow flags, after a couple of restarts there, they make it through turns 1 and 2 under power and under green.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall in one of those chats right now?
Just thinking the same thing there, Will.
Oh, got a car on the wall. That's a 13 in voltage. Voltage hits the wall. Single car incident. Don't believe that's going to take the yellow flag out. It does. So that is a big break for Voltage, who continues to find himself bad luck in that 19 machine.
It looks like he got doored pretty good by the 6 and got sent right up into the wall. At least on my screen anyway.
Wow.
Who's piloting the 6?
He is still sitting on the banking on turns 1 and turns 3 and 4.
Marcus Edub, he had a rough night last night in the Xfinity Series as well. He's gonna be good when Speed Weeks is over, I'm sure.
Yeah, plate racing is always a different beast.
Well, C. Workman trying to put the 3 car back to victory lane for the first time since 2018 Daytona 500, but doesn't get a good jump on that start. The 95 car that's going to beat him to the line, but will we see that outside line actually work? New for this game here, you don't get going. The loss of momentum is real.
Yeah, it sure is.
Oh, he got contact. The 20 car. Pat Zace almost dove right into the rest of the field, and it stacks him up. The 13 car behind him, also single car incident. You see Diesel out of shape. 3 wide up front. No yellow flag.
Yeah, I think what happens is if you get a caution, if you're actually on the racing surface and you make a complete stop, it looks like Bag's car got hung up to where it wouldn't move at all, so they had to throw a caution on that. But yeah, this game's not that finicky on the caution. You really have to be cautious yourself, because you don't want to be one of those guys getting caught up in a wreck that doesn't bring out a yellow.
Hendrick Motorsports running along just outside the top 10 there. Justin Mons, JRM Keffer in the 48 car. Oh, try to get underneath. Bounces back into traffic, collecting his teammate, and the 43 is going to be in it. Justin Mons around in the backstretch. Oh, a hellacious hit. Broadsided hard by the 6 car. The 20 gets a piece of it.
As I said,
and no yellow flag. We were riding along when that all began. This 9 car tried to get in a hole that just wasn't there yet. The 21 car had just passed him. He tried to clip, and he just clipped the back bumper that sent him to the outside wall. And my goodness, Justin Mons with a big hit to that door.
He was a standout in the truck series last year. This is his first, well, he got a couple cup rides, hot seats last year. This is his first full season getting to race with all these guys. I know for a fact he's got skills to pay the bills. He's got to settle down and stop trying to make some of them hard moves like that. Those guys are definitely getting a little racing here with about 27 to go.
Yes, they are, and unfortunately, the consequence of not having that yellow flag is going to take some of these guys, these good competitors, out of a chance to win this race. Now this game beginning to have a green flag look to it. Unless we see another big crash like the 48 car getting into the side of BC Racer Kid. Racer Kid at the outside wall with help from the 40 and the 43.
The 48 car looked like he just backed out.
Yes, and look at this on the backstretch. That was, I believe, BC Racer Kid still sideways. Sorry, guys. There's 23 drivers. Yes, BC Racer Kid now just gets going. I don't know what happened there, but the 48 car, you say, lagged out, and that would explain why he just turned dead to the right and took out the 4 car, our defending series champion.
And our Daytona 500 last year champion as well. He won this race last year. I hate to see something like that happen, but the 48 of Saab Max, he's had a little connection issues here and there last year, so I hate to see that that's still continuing, you know, on into this season here.
Marcus
We
E-Dub.
got the 95 gets into the side of the 19, shooting up the racetrack there.
Yes, but he's still in tow with his lead pack.
Oh, he got doored by the
2 of Hyper.
Yeah, the number 2 of Hyper just put him in the wall. Hopefully he can catch up and catch this draft right here.
Well, now we'll also see here, too, those that pitted under the last caution and those that didn't pit under the last caution. Will they have enough fuel and tires to make it to the end?
Well, we do know we restarted with 31 laps to go, so that was everyone's going to be outside of their fuel window. So they're all basically, essentially, they're going to be, it's a one stop from here. But as you said, those guys that did use those caution brakes to their advantage, they could go a little bit longer and not have to put themselves perhaps in a hornet's nest, because we've seen most of the trouble, even though we've seen or asked a couple of mistakes on the track. But getting onto pit road has always been an issue under green.
Yeah, maybe some of those guys that lost the draft that's way back there in the back, if they can just hang close enough, maybe they can use a 2-tire strategy, a little early pit or something, and get caught back up with that lead pack and actually have a chance to have a good finish.
That's unfortunate there, the 2 car in the 19. That does take them outside of the lead draft. And
Workman is
we see
he's commanding the field up here.
This 19 now in tow with Big D Destroyer and Diesel. 2 Penske teammates working with one another. They put RPM behind him, and this 4-car pack will soon become 5 because they will catch the 2 car who's riding along by himself. And at least they're going to minimize the bleeding, but these guys, all who we thought would be factors toward the end of it, will need a yellow flag to get caught back up.
High, guys. We got to change for the lead. 3 car went high.
Oh.
Ducked it off inside there. He's getting freight trained.
His teammate was not a teammate right then. And look who's pushing him. It wasn't so long ago that the 17 car Fluffy was around in turn 2. He's back up to 2nd place. Also cracking the top 5, the 21 of Slade.
And if you notice, not too deep back there, you see that 88 sticking his nose back in it.
Yes.
I wonder how many laps it's going to take for these 3 cars to catch this lead pack. They look like they're coming.
They are 7-car battle up front. That is your lead pack led by the 31 car of Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe, who does run a YouTube channel here on PS4 for NASCAR Heat 4.
Nation.
Having a great outing so far for PRCS. Want to give a shout out to the 24 car. I have not talked about him at all there, but we're riding along with him, and he's in the 3rd position solidly. That is Njobi's 25.
Hendrick Pro League driver.
Doing a great job today. So up front you have Sloppy Joe, Fluffy, Njobi, the 21 of Slade, and that 51 car, New World Order. That is your top 5 just outside of it, but in that lead pack, JRM Keffer and the 3 car, a C Workman. It's very well possible your winner for the 2nd Daytona 500 in PRCS history could come from one of these 7 guys if we don't get the yellow flag again. Coming to the stripe, they will have 17 laps to go.
So now they're definitely inside of their fuel window.
Well, no, it'll be 15 laps. It's 15 laps is a fuel window. So these guys are just outside, but once they cross, it'll be game on.
No, actually, you get 15 laps, but you can it stretches out. You save fuel in the draft a little bit or up front. We found that you can actually get 17 and a half, 18 laps out of a fuel run.
That's good. That's good to know. So does that advantage go to the back of the half versus the 31 car who's leading because he's using more fuel?
Right.
It really didn't change as much, but he hasn't been leading that long too, so you got to get that into it also. But does he duck down and start the pit road debacle, or does he stay out as long as he can and lead as many laps as he can, try to get a clean pit run? That's the question for the 31 car right now.
Also, if you're one of these guys that are just trailing this lead pack, you see that second pack right there, and then just behind them a good gaggle of cars in that third pack. Do you stay out and try to get as much momentum in a pack before you pit once these leaders go in, or do you try and short pit and use strategy to get caught back up?
Well, that's what we were saying earlier. You know, the guys that utilize their pit stops under caution and versus the ones that didn't, they could maybe go 3-4 more laps and put themselves in a better position to win this thing than the guys that stayed out during the caution.
If I was in a second pack on back, the further back I would be, I would try a short pit right now, and then in only hopes that if the guys do run around, that you will catch up with a pack, so you will actually won't get left, and you'll be a lap down until they decide to pit. That would be the strategy I would go to. I would hate to be in this lead pack right now because we've seen it's not a good place to be leading coming to a green flag pit stop.
That's right. Sure. And we do know that this time you see the 40 car issues. That second pack is already going down pit road. Nobody in the lead pack, but everybody can make it from here. Let's see. We see the 1 and the 48 and the 40 down pit road. The 9 car is also down pit road. He wrecked though, so he's not a factor toward this one. And we see the second pack led by the 43. Also get on pit road in the 19 of Voltage.
On the back stretch.
Let's get back up front.
Drop out of the pack. He might be about to head down pit road.
These are important pit stops. You cannot have a mistake.
Yeah,
New World Order. You see the 24 and the 80 in the 3.
Yeah, they got him
They got it walled down. Now we'll keep an eye on the 31, the 17, the 51, and the 21. These are all your lead lap guys. You see them put a lap down on a couple of competitors as they cycle through. These are the last pit stops for the Daytona 500.
Now the question is, do they take 4 tires? Do they take no tires and fuel? Do they take 2 tires and a half a can? I mean, they've got so many options right now. Man, I'd hate to be the one down there.
Here comes 31.
Make a break.
On the pit road, they're all sliding down. 51 spins! Gets Slade, and Slade tags the inside wall. He'll lose touch with that lead pack unless he pulls some dramatic strategy and tries to get caught back up. But New World Order spun the tires getting on the pit road, sent the 21 to Slade down. And now we'll see where the 88 and the 3 and the 24 fall in line.
And we got Jay Hyper slow on the apron, guys. Looks like he ran out of fuel.
And it looks like Keffer right now is the leader.
Well, no, he would be behind.
Actually,
he's behind the 24 car
right now.
Okay. He is behind the 24, so that's Joby's. Both of them are at the start-finish line now. Where are they in relationship to the 17?
Oh, we got the 51 and 31 getting in the wall. Hopefully they didn't call the call. Yeah, they didn't call it.
Oh, yes.
That could have been big implications. They could have caught a couple guys that hadn't pitted yet that was maybe way out in the backpack that could have been walking away with the lead there.
Shoot. 6 car going a lap down. BC Racer Kid also not going to be a factor. Here's the 31 car. We know he was able to get down and rolled up. He's in front of the 24 car, but here's the 51, a New World Order, and the 21 of Slade. Slade was able to pull some dramatic strategy. I do believe Slade is your leader. No, I'm sorry. The 21 of Slade is in second place. 17 of Fluffy is your leader. So these guys all using various strategy to get caught back up. And you see the 24 car trying to get back there, as well as the 88 and the 3. They really need to stay nose to tail. See Workman in them in order to get caught back up. The 17 car had a clean pit stop, but did he get too big of a lead?
Yeah, he's going to get freight trained here by the 21 and the 51 and 31, all going to have a good run on him. Well, they just stay.
No, the 51 car doesn't go with them. The 31 car did.
They're gonna get
and they are side by side. Slade able to complete the pass. Slade to the point. He dropped down low, man. He didn't wait for the 31 or the 24 at all. He took the lead. And what a story of redemption for the 21 machine. It's been announced that fan favorite Matt DiBenedetto will take over this ride in the 2020 season, after Paul Menard is going to hang it up. But this team, NASCAR's oldest team, looking for the 100th win in the Monster Energy Cup Series. What a day it would be for the 21 car to get to victory lane on NASCAR's biggest stage.
Yeah, Alex, and actually Slade is actually the 21 Wood Brothers Pro League Cup driver as well, so every win counts for the Wood Brothers, no matter if it's esports, Pro League, or here at Midnight.
He has fought to get back up. Had it go way in the back of the pack. Remember, he got spun from out of the lead during stage 2, has been able to rebound nicely, and now, under the green flag, able to get a run around the 17 car, not wait for any chances. He ducked to the inside. He cut the nose off the 17 car. And the 21 car is looking to set sail on the rest of the field.
Yeah, I think that these guys are doing the right thing by staying nose to tail. If you see that second pack is nose to tail, and they're coming.
It is led by JRM Keffer and C. Workman. They just didn't get on the pit road as well as these guys up front did. In fact, the only guy from that second pack that was able to maintain lead was the 24 car. Everyone else was still in that lead pack. 8 laps to go. Excuse me, 7 to go.
7 to go. And we got Jay Mons and our last year's champion, BC Racer Kid, fighting to stay on the lead lap here.
Yeah, unfortunately, these guys, just a month, they had issues without the yellow flag. BC Racer Kid got knocked to the outside wall.
What do you think is going to happen once they catch him? Do you think
lap traffic could play a factor toward this?
Definitely so. I think they can use him as a pick.
Challenge.
As you see, Fluffy jumps out with BC Racer. BC Racer sticks it out there and gives Fluffy a draft. This might be a
calculated move, but now the leaders stick to the inside and out of the path of the 21 machine.
Mons did the right thing, got up out of the way to let the leaders come by. He's not going to be a factor here, and the finish. That's a good move by him, being a lap down.
They got a couple of lap cars to work their way as well. The 2 of Jay Hyper.
Oh, Hyper's in the way up there.
He's going to stick to the outside. And Pat's Ace is the last car in the sights line of the 21. Jay Hyper and the 4 car. A couple lap cars getting into it there. 5 to go.
Come on, guys. Don't bring
in the hand of the NASCAR official at the start-finish line. Up the racetrack. Here comes the 20 car, Pat's Ace. The 20 car, Pat's Ace, forces the 21 car machine. Here comes Sloppy Joe to the lead. Oh, no.
Wow. I'm not sure he was trying to do that. He was trying to stay on that outside. I think Slade hit the panic button, but I wasn't exactly sure. I was on that second pack, guys.
Sloppy Joe in the 31 takes it away from the 21, who had issues getting around the 20 car. A lap down machine. And for the second year in a row, someone not on the lead lap dramatically shuffles the race point late in this race. 31 car.
You're right.
4 laps to go. Can he hang on the NASCAR's biggest stage? Wow, the 51 car is definitely trying to put his nose under it. And Fluffy not going to give up as well. Now we've got the lap traffic mixed in with the lead pack. So what you're seeing are 8 cars, but only 5 of them are fighting for the Daytona 500 win. That's got to be frustrating here if you're on the lead lap, and these guys are racing for a position as well, but they all have the same opportunity as you to be racing on the racetrack.
Yes, they do.
You got to feel for the 21 of Slade there. I do. I don't know what exactly happened there, but
you can't fault them. I mean, like you said, they have every right to be out there. The best thing they can try to do is help him get around. That's what they're going to do.
They're going to try and get it. A couple of lap cars are trying to
get his lap back.
Work. That's what Slade is hoping to do. And there's a couple of Ford. There's some manufacturer loyalty happening right there. Wow, the 24 car slips the nose on the 51 of New World Order. 17 of Fluffy takes that 3rd position. At the stripe, 2 laps to go. Wow, that 24 car, he's not afraid to use the back bumper. Will he use the front one as he tries to get around the 31 machine?
That 17 car looks real racy, guys. I think it's going to, we're about to see a big move come out of that 21 and that 17. You think they're going to let Sloppy win this 500?
We're going to try and find out.
Slade's laying back.
2.5 miles, the most important miles on this racetrack. 24 car look to the outside. They'll face the white flag this time by 1 lap to go, sponsored by Run-On Imports. The 31 car, Sloppy Joe, through the misfortune of the 21 and the 20 in a lap car, gets the lead with 4 laps to go. Can he hang on for another lap for PRCS? 2 and 3 wide. That second pack, where did they come from? Here comes JRM Keffer to the outside. Help from Steve Workman. Fluffy to the outside lane.
Here they go. Oh, we got
car in the wall, 3, 4, almost 5 wide, battling at the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Slade trying to thread the needle, 3 wide for second place. It's all happening behind the 31. Sloppy Joe, YouTube, trying to bring it on home. There's a crash in the back of the pack, and the 24 car is trying to get there. He will not. Sloppy Joe wins the Daytona 500 for PRCS.
What a finish.
Man,
let me tell you, that 88 car, where did he come from? That reminds me of the finish to the 2013 Daytona 500. They had such a run, but nowhere to go.
Well, you see the guys in that lead pack, I think they got caught by surprise just like we did, guys. They looked like they started trying to throw some blocks there a little too late and actually messed up a lot of guys that was in that front pack and the second pack's finish there. There's going to be a lot of heat that ain't on the stove tonight, that's for sure.
Well, imagine that. It ends in a sour sparks. I cannot believe they were able to make it through in a 31 car. I mean, at one point, it looked like they were 4 wide on the back stretch.
So Sloppy Joe, Nick Dobbs, and New World are your top 3.
For RCR, Tame the Beast did so in the biggest stage in NASCAR, winning the Daytona 500. That's Sloppy Joe. YT, going to be talking to him here in just a few moments there. Feel for a couple of competitors, including the 21 of Slade. He looked like he had that perhaps in the bag. Had a final shot to try and get there. Did not work out for him. But wow, what a finish to this one. And a great start to the season for the 31 car, who finds himself in the playoffs.
So, I'm going to invite Slade first, and he can invite the rest of the crew. He knows who they are. Man, that was more excitement than I expected to see, guys. That was a pretty good 500 this year, yeah. Wasn't a caution fest. There might have been a few cautions that should have flew that didn't come, but man, was that interesting on the last lap.
Yeah, especially that run from the second pack with JRM Keffer running it.
They came out of nowhere, man.
They really did. I did not see that coming. And I was watching on board. That's who our onboard YouTube official radar site is. There is Slade, who will be handing us some of our top finishers of the PRCS. But while he's in there, Slade, man, that was a great run to the finish there. Didn't think you had it there, but talk about that issue with the 20 car that prevented you from getting the lead out of turn 2.
Want to say something?
Good time.
And apparently I am still in this race. Oh, are y'all still in here? Oh, well, yay. These are some of your top people. All right. Well, the 31 car, who is right on the bottom of the racetrack. Sloppy Joe, I'm sorry.
He's in here.
Is he? All right. Sloppy Joe, congratulations for the Midnight Broadcasting Network. You are the PRCS champion of the Daytona 500. How does it feel to have that 31 car in victory lane and your name in the playoffs?
Oh man, it feels unbelievable. I before the season started, I said I wanted to be part-time, but I think I gotta change my mind here after that win because we're in the playoffs now. The 31 Taylor Beach Chevy Camaro Z01 was so fast. All the people back at the RCR shop, great car, just unbelievable, man. I knew that Jobs was going to make a run. I saw it happening, and thankfully I didn't pull anything to where he got in the wall or anything. He ran me clean. I really appreciate that. I knew the second pack was coming. I just kept running my line, and I just did what I needed to do. It's unbelievable, man. I was fist pumping. I was going crazy. I can't remember the last time I've ever won a Daytona 500 in a league, so it's just unbelievable, man. It really feels special. I'm just happy to have won the Daytona 500.
You mentioned you were part-time there, but perhaps thinking about full-time employment. Now that you have the chance to know that if you declare points here, that the pressure's off until the playoffs, how does that change your mindset for the rest of the season?
It certainly changes a lot. I'm so busy with the NASCAR E-Pro League and now this, but winning the Daytona 500, and it's not a gimmick. I know I can bring speed to the track every single week. That's why Slade and everybody at Midnight brought me in here, and they know I could compete at the highest level, and I have the utmost amount of confidence right now to go out there and race for a championship. So, I mean, for sure, I could probably make that switch to full-time, and more than likely it's going to happen, and it changes it for sure. I don't have to worry about losing any hair for the weeks ahead with stress. I could definitely go and just race my thing, get as many wins as possible, and take chances and get as many playoff points as possible for the playoffs, man. But just so grateful to be here and be in this position, and just so happy right now.
So many unknowns entering this race. This was the first Daytona 500 on NASCAR Heat 4. We had 23 competitors on the racetrack. Talk about the race here. What did you expect going in, and how did it play out for you throughout the race?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, with 23 cars, at first I was a little worried, but I realized the amount of talent that's in this group. I knew it wasn't going to be that big of an issue. We went the first stages caution-free. I really wasn't expecting it to be kind of a slow-paced race. I was expecting more moves and more double file and taking chances, but once the set of the tone of the race was kind of set, I kind of told myself, all right, I just got to just hold my spot and do what I need to do, and hopefully I'll be in the position to win. And I knew when that final stage was going to come out, I knew things were going to get really dicey, and there was at one point where I was the leader, came into pits. I think we came out like 4th or 5th, and I thought it was over with until we started making some moves, and some of the guys in front of me got a little tight, and we just took advantage of it. And I think Slade, he got held up by a lap car, and I hate that happened to him. We were pushing each other really good, and he got held up, and I saw that as my opportunity to take the lead, and at that point I kind of told myself I got to go for the 500, and it worked out. It sucks for Slade, it sucks for Fluffy, whatever happened to them, but yeah, it was just a crazy race all in all. It was stressful all the way to the end for sure.
All right, well, you're hearing here the second ever champion of the Daytona 500. That is Sloppy Joe. He's also on YouTube there, and also one of the esports pro sport drivers for NASCAR Heat 4. Pro League driver. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry. Having a great run here, winning the Daytona 500. Thank you so much there, Sloppy. Let's see if we can talk to some of our other competitors.
Good luck tomorrow night, Sloppy, the Kansas race, buddy.
Oh, thank you, man.
Let's see who else is in here. I'm sorry, I don't want to.
Second place, Nick Jobs, the driver of the 25 Hendricks car. How you doing, boss? Congratulations on your second place finish. Alex, you gonna take over?
Sure, man. Nick Jobs, I was just saying here, we hadn't talked much about you all day long, but you were right there when it counted the most. Walk us through those final set of pit stops there. How important was it to you to make sure that you got out with that lead pack? This race was definitely a lot of... Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry there.
So is your party audio set to always allow? Is your party audio set to allow? I can't hear you on the broadcast. I can hear you here, but for the broadcast to hear you, you need to
have to set it to always allow. Go to your party settings.
Yeah, so the broadcast hasn't really heard you. Just set that to allow and we'll redo the interview. Sorry,
can you hear me now?
I'm trying to see.
Let's see. We're having some technical difficulties, but yeah. Are we good now?
Sorry, I'm trying to check. Sorry, guys.
Do you guys hear me now?
You gotta talk. Say something, James.
All right, we're good. Sorry.
Hear me? Testing.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we're good. All right, so walk us through that final lap there and how you tried to get to the lead with one to go.
Yeah, I knew, Keffer. I was tracking Keffer's, time back there in about 5th place, and they had a good run coming up to us, and they went high, and I tried to trail off of Sloppy Joe there to get a run coming out of 2 and kind of merge in with him and make a run on that outside. And as expected, Sloppy kind of went up high, blocked me. I tried to cross him over, and I just caught his rear end just enough to slow me down and, kind of slowed everybody up. And that was it from there, and just couldn't go from there. I think we were 3 wide going into 3, which was crazy, and just came home second. It's close battle, though.
You are
good to see Chevy up front, though, 1-2.
A rookie in this league here, but having a great day. How important is it to start your season off with a second-place finish, and what do you look forward to as the season progresses?
Oh, it's great. Momentum is huge, and to start off here and start off hot is great, and we'll just try to keep it going and kind of rack up as many points and playoff points as we can.
All right, that was N Jobs there with a second-place finish. Second time in a row that the 24 car has finished second at Daytona. All right, let's see if we have...
The 3rd place car declined interview, so we're going to go.
All right. Was that you, Slade?
It was.
Okay, sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry. That finish, man. We're still getting used to, not having a real booth here, guys, so bear with me. But I do want to talk to the 21 of Slade there. Slade, you had to rebound from an earlier spin in stage 2 that saw you also get a speeding pit road penalty. Talk about what you thought your chances were winning the Daytona 500 after that.
So won stage 1. Thought we had a good car, everything. Car felt great. Go to pit in stage 2. We're leading the race. And first time, I've practiced pit road a lot for a Daytona, and that was the first time the brake just ever fell on me. I had to wheel all the way to the left trying to save it. It didn't do it. So we wrecked going on pit road, and we took 4 tires just to try and so we kicked 2 at the end of stage 2, and we did. We went 5th, and we were leading. I don't understand. I messaged them. Didn't get. I'm just trying to ask what happened. Usually you saw pretty much every lap car go high to avoid the leaders if those were at the bottom. 20 didn't do that, and it was weird. He literally kept the bottom. Then I went high, and then he went to the middle to let second go. So I don't know what that was. We were 3 wide. That ruined my chances of winning. And then I want to apologize to Jeremy Keffer. That last lap, I was trying to follow 24. And when he got the back of 31, that shot him down. So I go high to avoid, and the 88 was there, and it cost him from going, I believe, 4th to 8th. So I apologize for that. Yeah, we'll take a 4th, man. I think we'll be sitting around 2nd in points, 3rd in the standings after today, with a 10-race chase, 10-race playoff group with this many competitive cars, and nobody's winning in. It's going to be hectic to make these playoffs. Every top 5 you can get is just great. It's great to have.
This has been a topic of discussion not only in the esport community, but also in the real-life world. You know, Kyle Busch and Garrett Smithley getting into it at Las Vegas there. With lap cars and the etiquette, it comes to lap cars and perhaps cars that are slower on the racetrack. Is this something that you feel perhaps in real-life NASCAR should take more a look into, and will this be addressed later on in this league as far as lap car etiquette and what to expect when you're racing along with them late to go in the race?
I mean, if it was someone else, I would be like, yeah, that's Pat's. One thing I know about that 20 car usually runs. If anybody knows here, because I ran my wheel tonight.
Super clean.
I'll say Pat's a super clean guy. Always, he's on a wheel. Super clean guy. I forgot what he had, but he's not able to run his wheel, so he's running a controller. So he was a little swervy at times, but that's because he's on a controller. And we kind of understand that because we've known Pat for so long. He's pretty much a pro league guy in a sense. And I don't know, man. I don't know if he knew he was just not stable enough that if he went high, he was going to lose the car or what. I don't know. I mean, for anybody, I feel like going to the top side when you have a pack of 8 coming behind you, that's just common sense to go to the high side. I mean, I don't know. That cost us a win. And with 23 guys and I think it's 11 pro league drivers in this league in a 23-car field, getting wins are not easy to come by. So maybe if that was last season when we had 14 guys running, and around, I think 6 or 7 pro leaguers on a consistent basis, might have let it slide. But with this stacked of a field, wins don't come as easy as they did last season. So I'm sure I'll talk it out, see what the problem is. But yeah, Pat's usually a clean guy. He's just, I don't know. I would say that was, he's been on the controller, so he didn't know what to do. But he caused, I think, 1 or 2 wrecks, and that was he just not used to the controller. But that was just I don't know. I'll talk it out with him. But league-wise, probably won't. I mean, that's pretty much, you saw everybody except the 20 went high, so I don't think it's gonna be a problem in the league. But we'll go on to Atlanta with some momentum, and we'll try and do our best there.
All right, a conversation that will be had, but not far from over here. But I want to bring in my guys that helped me call this race, Will and Red. Guys, we saw an exciting race, and let me tell you about that last lap. That 88 car, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
he had that 100 horsepower DLC pack. He got there on that last corner right there. Last night he did the same thing, made it 5 wide. We was coming out of 4. He was in the 10th place. I was in 11th place. I got behind him. We hit a hole. I don't know where he found it at, but we hit a hole. He went to 3rd. I got 7th. We was 4 wide crossing the line. So yeah, this new package we're racing with is definitely exciting. And Keffer, like I said earlier in the race, if he sees a hole, he's gonna stick it in there. That's for sure.
Yeah, That's what I was saying earlier was the way that the gaps open up, like Will said. Keffer is not afraid to put it there patiently and cleanly. Put it there.
Yeah, not reckless.
Not going to not recklessly, and just make up spots. But yeah, I did not see that second pack coming the way they came. I was watching his stream too, and the last time I looked, he was like 2 seconds back, and the next thing I know, he's right there on top of him. And I was like, whoa. So,
I'm telling you, if the line was moved and we was racing at Talladega for the stripe, he probably would end up winning that one last night and probably would have won that one tonight. So, yeah. Good
Well, it was
move
an
out of the
exciting
88.
night of racing here and a great way to break in a new season all on NASCAR Heat 4. I want to remind you guys that are watching us on YouTube, you will see us here every night, I believe around the 9:30 Eastern Standard Time frame for Midnight Broadcasting Network, where we are going to bring you 22 races. Already got one in the books, and that was led by Sloppy Joe, your winner here in the 31 car. Want to thank everybody here from Slade to Pocono Raceway and my colleagues there, Red and Will. A great night of racing. Can't see what happens next week where we get this season underway for PRCS. Make sure you subscribe to the Midnight Broadcasting Network. You can hit that little bell icon right on the bottom of your screen. You can also follow us. A number of us are on any NASCAR forum page there, NASCAR Heat Community on Facebook, and I myself am on Twitter and online. Alex J. Smith, Alexander Ned 2 on PS4 and Twitter. Want to thank everyone here for a great night of racing. So glad you could join us here. We will see you next time, same place here for the Midnight Broadcasting Network. I'm Alexander Ned for Will and Red. We'll see you guys then.
See.